The preseason is underway. We're talking about your drafts coming up. If you're a Superflex guy, you should probably pay attention.
Perfect.
We are back. Welcome back to the Fourth and Flex Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your boy Bandy. That's your boy Trey. And the time is now, buddy. What's going on?
What's going on, man? What's going on? I mean, it feels like football time. I feel like that's what's going on. I mean, we're getting there. I'm listening to all kinds of stuff. I'm hearing all stuff in the media. I mean, everybody, it's football time. I know we got the NBA USA in the going in the finals for the gold, and that's going to be the last little bit of basketball I want to hear about until football season is over, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can feel it. You can feel the energy in the air, man. And we're going to capitalize, buddy. We're going to capitalize on that energy. It's we're doing a super flex mock draft, baby. We're gonna get in on the action here. I'm gonna draft at the 1. Trey over there is going at the 12. And let's just do it. What do you say, man?
Yeah, we're doing no limit, and we're gonna have do a bot draft just so we can really talk about our picks and our thought process going through who we're gonna take and things of that nature to really divide and our ideas and conquer this draft.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I like it. I like it. I am at the 1. Now, I just want to start off by saying I'm not a guy that likes drafting at the 1. I'm usually a middle of the pack kind of guy, but this is super flex. Got the 1 pick. I think I got to do it, man. I got to go with I'm going to take old Josh Allen. He doesn't have the weapons like he normally has, but I think he's a great quarterback, and he's going to figure it out, buddy.
Yeah, man. I mean, top 2 quarterback in fantasy the last 3 years, 2 of those being top 1 finishes. I mean, it may not look amazing and it may not sound like he's putting that kind of numbers up, but for fantasy purposes, he's doing that thing.
He sure is.
So I love Josh Allen as the 101 in a super flex league.
I talked about it a little bit on my on the TikTok live there, and the new unis for the Bills, that red on red, bro.
Oh yeah,
so fresh.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a lot better than the blue, if you know what I'm saying.
Hey man, no, I ain't trying to insult nobody.
All right, but let's see. So you take Josh Allen at the 101. Then goes Christian McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, Mahomes, Hurts, Tyreek, Lamar Jackson, Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson, Justin Jefferson, CJ Stroud. I'm on the 12 spot in a Superflex league. My favorite place to be, honestly, in a Superflex, even because, it's something about the 12 spot in a Superflex that some quarterbacks go off the board, so it saves you some, high priority receivers and running backs.
Yeah.
Because typically in the 12 spot for me in a Superflex, I'm not really looking for a quarterback here. You're pretty much already missing out on the top 5.
Yeah.
And so you got to find the guys that are going to shine, that are, sleeper quarterbacks basically at that point. But you can still grab some great talent and get some value at the 12 spot because those quarterbacks come off the board. Sitting right there at the top for me, it's a no-brainer on this first pick. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown. I have no problem drafting him in the first round all year. I'm loving that he fell to me at the 12 spot. And crazy enough, normally I would probably go somewhere like Barkley or Jonathan Taylor here. But Breece Hall is there. And you have to get value at getting Breece Hall in the second round. Are you kidding me? I don't care if it's super flex. Give me Breece Hall in the second round.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Amon-Ra, Breece Hall, then quarterbacks start to fall off. How about CJ Stroud? Let's talk about him for a minute, Trey. This guy is going earlier and earlier in drafts. Like the closer we get, the earlier he goes in a lot of the drafts I'm seeing, man. What is it about CJ Stroud that's making people say, I need to get this guy in the first round, second round?
Look, it's the hype, man. It's all the hype, and it's too much hype for me, honestly. I like CJ Stroud at a value. I don't like to reach for a CJ Stroud. There's too many questions in Houston. I know they have all the talent in the world down there, but CJ Stroud, it's his second year. He's not, he's a good quarterback, right?
Yeah.
But But who's to say that he didn't have an amazing rookie season, and then that's going to be, a little bit of a recession here.
Sure.
I think people are taking too big of a risk, taking C.J. Stroud over guys like Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott, and Kyler Murray. I think I would take all of those guys before I would take C.J. Stroud because they've proven that they can put up heavy numbers.
Yeah.
It just scares me to take C.J. Stroud that early, man.
Could it be the Stephon Diggs of it too? Stephon Diggs coming in first year, something to prove. Nico Collins breakout season last year. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's also another reason people are like on that train.
I mean, I get it, but they do have a lot of great wide receivers on that team. Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz, even at the tight end position, we know he can rack up points. So he's got all the options, and everything sounds great. However, it's still the Texans. And I just want to keep that in people's heads, that, it's still the Texans. And I just, is this offensive line going to be as good? How's this team going to play out? And people love exciting new shiny toys.
Sure do.
But a lot of kids, when they get those shiny toys, they put them down 3 days later. And I just worry that 3 days into the draft, after the draft's over, people are going to be like, was this a bad idea?
It is. Okay, I'll give it to you. It is still the Texans. No, they got a good head coach in D'Amico. I like him. D'Amico Ryans. I like that guy. And a lot of new weapons and a lot of new toys. I feel like this organization is turning it around. I'll say that. They've been a dumpster fire the past, 4 or 5 seasons. I think that the Texans probably will win their division. Yeah. Jaguars are in there. I
definitely think that they have a big chance at a playoff position. I don't think, however, they make it far into the playoffs. I don't think that they're there yet.
I guess we'll find out. We'll see.
Which obviously that doesn't necessarily matter for fantasy. However, I don't know. It's a big risk to take on a second-year QB.
Yeah, I agree. Stroud. Hey, this is Superflex, but Christian McCaffrey still goes at the 2. Seeing that's a little different than what I've been seeing. Christian McCaffrey dropping apparently in a lot of drafts, huh?
Yeah, man, he's got that calf injury. People are worried about that. That's real close to the Achilles. We know a couple years ago, Christian McCaffrey went the 101. Everybody took him, and then he screwed everybody over. Obviously, if you took him the next year, you were ecstatic. And then the year after that, but he's getting older, and these little minor injuries in preseason, scare people, and especially when they, are leg injuries, when you're a running back. So it definitely put it on people's radar to be watchful and worryful. I know some people have said that they don't care. Yeah. They're taking Christian McCaffrey regardless at the 101, no matter what they're doing. And I don't blame them.
Yeah.
But I also don't blame people for being hesitant. I've seen it where people have taken Christian McCaffrey at the 101, and then it's ruined their entire season.
Yeah.
So, I've seen both sides, and I think it's up to you. It's really what does your heart say? Follow your gut.
Here's the thing, man. Look out for Christian's McCaff injury. just saying.
Christian's McCaff injury. I like it.
I love it, man. I love it. Good stuff. All right. Well, I'm on the clock, man. A lot of quarterbacks off the board. Superflex. Take a look at quarterback just because I've had a lot of success in the past going QB in Superflex. Now I am at the 1 spot here, so I got to make this a good couple picks because it's not coming back for a while. So at the top of the list, Jordan Love, Purdy, Herbert, Caleb Williams. Bro, I got to tell you, man, I'm starting to get on the Caleb Williams train.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but Caleb Williams, man, he's got every weapon around him. He has every opportunity to be great. Now, C.J. Stroud really didn't last season. He had Singletary as his running back, right? He had Nico Collins, an unproven commodity over there, and he managed to do something with it. Now, Caleb Williams has Keenan Allen. He's got DJ Moore. He's got pieces around him. DeAndre Swift at running back.
Cole Kmet
at tight end. He's got, every opportunity to do great. And I don't know, man. I know last season in college he didn't do as well, but in 2022, dude went off, okay? Maybe he was like, I'm not going to push too hard. I'm trying to get in the NFL, whatever. It worked, bro. So I want to see that 2022 Caleb Williams, and he has every opportunity to do that. Anyways, I had to get that out about old Caleb Williams, man. But honestly, I think I'm going to wait because I think I can get a good quarterback later that will complement my team very well. Right now, I need to get some of the pieces in place here. Garrett Wilson is there. I like that. Kyron Williams, Derrick Henry, ETN. I got to start looking down a little bit because it's not going to come back to me for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go here. I'm going to get Garrett Wilson, okay, at the 212. Turn back around, grab I want to take Kyron Williams so bad, bro. I really do. But Kyron Williams, he's going to do it again this year, right?
I mean, he has every opportunity to. I think people are sleeping on Kyron Williams. I think that they're really disrespecting his name and how well he performed last year. You know, the Rams are not that far from a Super Bowl, coming from a Super Bowl win. They're not that much post Super Bowl win, and this team is still super solid. And I think Kyron Williams is still going to have a great year. I think he's definitely being slept on by all these other big names.
Yeah, buddy. And I'm kind of looking down old Derrick Henry, man. I do want Derrick Henry because I know he won't come back to me. Because if he goes that way and nobody takes him, you got 2 picks. I know one of those picks is probably going to be Derrick Henry.
No doubt about it. I'm actually even more hyped on Derrick Henry after some recent things that I've thought about. So think about this. Lamar Jackson, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is a running quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And really what I was doing is I was comparing Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry and thought, who did I like better?
Mm-hmm.
Because I love both the positions that they're in.
Sure.
I think they're almost equal in a fantasy sense of who in my head, right? And so I was like, I need to figure out which one of these guys would I rather have if they were both sitting there and it was my turn to pick.
Makes sense.
And the way I saw it was that Derrick Henry is going to get the goal line carries for the Ravens because they don't want Lamar to get hurt. Right? They like to use him to use his legs. They like him to be versatile, but they're not going to give him that ball on the 1 yard line. That ball's going to Derrick Henry every time. However, in the Eagles situation on that 1 yard line, there's a very big possibility that ball just goes to Jalen Hurts.
Easily.
He's the most he had the most 1 yard carries at the 1 yard line in the red zone last year than any quarterback by far. And so that to me is going to take a little bit away from Saquon's touchdowns. It might not. They might change the script, but if history follows where it's been, it's Jalen Hurts getting that ball, and Saquon Barkley's not getting those goal line touches. Derrick Henry is every time.
Ooh,
so it put Derrick Henry just a little bit higher than Saquon in my book.
Derrick Henry has always been a little higher than Saquon in every book, just for the record. But I went ahead and grabbed Kyron Williams. Started my team so far. I like Josh Allen, Garrett Wilson, Kyron Williams. What do you think, man?
I don't hate it at all, man. I don't hate it at all. After Kyron Williams, Brock Purdy goes, Jordan Love. I can believe that Brock Purdy goes before Jordan Love. But I personally would rather have Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love is going to surprise a lot of people this year. I would rather have Jordan Love than CJ Stroud at their values, where they're going in the draft.
Yeah.
I would rather just wait and take Jordan Love because I think they both have the same opportunities.
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. You got to put a little respect on Brock Purdy's name, though. He has done it.
I get it.
He's taken him.
I feel like Brock Purdy is the guy that Caleb Williams can be, right? He was brought into a situation where he had all the great options, right? So if Caleb Williams can't do it, then I don't think he's it. You know what I mean? Because Brock Purdy come in, maybe not have been the best quarterback, but he knew how to use the people around him because they are all amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, Brock Purdy's just nothing and come in, but I'm just saying he definitely had, the best people around him to make what happen.
Coaches, players, all those things. The
running back, receivers. I mean,
yeah. Give the man his riches,
Yeah. Okay. So then goes Jordan Love. Travis Kelce goes in the 3rd round. Justin Herbert, Travis Etienne, Laporta, Drake London, Devontae Adams, Tua Tagovailoa, and Derrick Henry at the 3-11. If he would have fell there, I would have snagged him up, but he did not. So I'm on the clock here. A lot of quarterbacks going off the board. I feel like I need to grab at least one quarterback here. It's a no-brainer for me. It's Jared Goff to get the Amon-Ra stack. I love that. All year long. I think that's going to be probably the best stack of the year.
Okay.
I really do. I think these guys are going to connect on a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns. I have no problem taking Jared Goff. I think people sleep on Jared Goff. I think he's had some rough years, but he is an adequate quarterback, and he's got a great receiver to get the ball to.
Mm-hmm. So you like Amon-Ra, Jared Goff stack better than you like an Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson type thing?
I do, because of injury. Because Aaron Rodgers still worries me a little bit, I think that Jared Goff and Amon-Ra are going to be solid all year long. And I'm going to knock on every bit of wood that I can to make that happen. But
I mean, injury-wise, I'd worry more on Amon-Ra getting an injury than I would Jared Goff. I mean, he's pretty good at getting rid of the ball when he feels pressure coming, so I will say that. I mean, obviously, you never know when the injury bug is going to hit, but I feel like I worry more Amon-Ra side of things,
Without a doubt, without a doubt. I'm sitting here trying to decide whether I go ahead and grab my second quarterback. I'm looking at the running backs on the list. There's some good ones, but there's a lot of good ones that I see in kind of the same category. Wide receiver wise, I think all of these guys, there's some deeper guys that I could probably wait on. I really think I want to go quarterback here, but I also know that a lot of these quarterbacks a lot of teams have already got their second quarterback, and there's still several quarterbacks I'd like to have. So I'm going to look around here, look down the list, and see what I can see. I got A-Chain there at the top, man, and that's exciting because, I'm scared of A-Chain, right? Everybody's scared of A-Chain.
Yeah.
But A-Chain could also win everyone their league. If A-Chain does what everybody expects him to do, the winning team of your league is going to have him on their team.
Absolutely.
And so to not draft him in the third round as my RB2, I feel like is wrong in all ways. So I feel like I have to take A-Chain here.
Okay.
And give me Breece Hall and A-Chain on my team. And I mean, I either win the league or I make the playoffs at this point.
Yeah, good start so far. Hot start for your team, buddy. Amon-Ra, Breece Hall, Jared Goff, A-Chain running back. Let's see. I started off Josh Allen, Garrett Wilson, Kyron Williams, and your boy is back on the clock. Quarterback, wide receiver, running back. That's how I decided to make this thing happen. But I got to keep taking a look over at my quarterbacks. When I'm doing Superflex, okay, if I'm not just going to take my two quarterbacks wham like that, you definitely, every time it's your turn to pick, just creep over there, see who's still left, okay? That's a little hot tip for you. Trevor Lawrence is there, Matt Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, Baker Mayfield. I feel like I can still, there's a good solid 4 or 5 quarterbacks still there. I feel like I could grab another player and still manage to have a good one come back to me. That's why I'm taking Kenneth Walker, K9, at the 412. Still there, still on the clock. Waddle at my wide receiver list. Stephon Diggs, DJ Moore, Nico Collins, still there. Malik Neighbors. Hearing a lot of good things about old Malik Neighbors, Trey.
Yeah, man. Dan Campbell come out. I mean, Dan Campbell, the coach for the Lions, come out talking about the Giants wide receiver. They had a joint practice and saying how he's a mix between Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Odell Beckham Jr. in his prime. And, and he's scary, man. They said that he had 18 for 19 completions in practice. I mean, obviously Daniel Jones is throwing him the ball, but, we've seen Daniel Jones do big things 2 years ago. Maybe last year was an off year, and maybe Daniel Jones wasn't just a one-time, big show, and he's coming back with vengeance this year. So it makes me wonder because, if Malik Neighbors is really that well, I don't know if out of all the coaches in the NFL were to talk good about a player, I'm believing Dan Campbell first. And I don't know why, because I think it's just because he has that much heart and that he really believes in the game. But when Dan Campbell talks up a player, I'm all in.
You're listening.
And so I'm big on Malik Neighbors right now.
Yeah, I'm hearing lots of good reports about this guy. But I think, let's see. I'm looking at my running backs. We got James Cook still there, Rashad White, Joe Mixon, Kamara, Aaron Jones. There's a lot of good things on the board here. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and grab Stephon Diggs, get another wide receiver in there. Got a quarterback, 2 wide receivers, 2 running back. Trying to have a well-balanced team here, and I'm going to run with it. Stephon Diggs, the Texans. We talked a little bit about it already. C.J. Stroud over there. I think these guys need to have a little Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp type of moment. Go have breakfast together. Just get to know each other very well, because you're going to be knowing each other very well on the field, Trey. Without a doubt,
man. And I'm looking at the list here, and I I feel like I keep getting sniped on this team 11, man. He grabbed Derrick Henry right before I could. Now he's got Deebo Samuel right before I could. I was really hoping Deebo Samuel would fall to me here, having Deebo as the wide receiver 2 on my team. With the Ayuk talks, I know I heard today that they're renegotiating his contract, and there's a chance he most likely will still stay with the Niners instead of being traded. Mm-hmm. And I think that was his intention all along. He just wanted to, get people nervous in the office to write a bigger check.
Yeah.
I think it worked, a little bit. Obviously, they're back to negotiations. So I would personally, for fantasy wise, I would love to see Ayuk go somewhere else because I think that makes Deebo almost a first round draft pick, in my opinion.
Through the roof.
So I'm nervous here without not getting Deebo, but I'm looking around. Malik Neighbors still there. I feel like it's hard for me to pass on that. The wide receivers going around Malik Neighbors, DK Metcalf, Amari Cooper, Zay Flowers, T. Higgins, all these guys, you're taking a risk on. I think I would rather take a risk on a rookie, Malik Neighbors, with all the talk that's going to be going on. I'm going to go ahead and grab him with my first pick here because I'm back on the clock and I've got time to chill. Now, looking at the quarterbacks, like we always do, you got to take a check, look at the quarterbacks, see what you're working with. And really, there's only 3 guys left that I would want as my QB2, and that's Matt Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers.
You wouldn't want no Baker Mayfield on there?
If those 3 guys were gone, sure. But I tier them just a little bit higher than I do Baker. I kind of include all 3 of those guys, though, in around the same area. But I would drop Baker 1 tier below those guys.
Yeah, okay.
But I feel like Baker's in his own tier, right? Because I wouldn't touch Deshaun Watson if I had a chance to take Baker. I wouldn't touch Will Levis, Geno Smith, JJ McCarthy. I would take Baker over all of them any time,
Really, Baker is like
the
right
cutoff.
Where it cuts off.
Yeah, it's like anybody after Baker, I'm disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
But if all these quarterbacks went off and I took Baker as my QB2, I wouldn't be disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, we rocked with him last season in a league that we co-managed, and he did us good.
But Matt Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers. Here's what I got to decide here, right? Because I've got Jared Goff, who I think is going to put up solid numbers. I need a quarterback that has the potential to really put up big numbers. And to me, all 3 of these guys have that potential. But the safest pick here, in my opinion, is Matthew Stafford with his options. Kirk Cousins, however, I feel like might have a higher ceiling. It really depends on how this team works for them. But Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, both coming off an Achilles injury, does scare me. I like Cooper Kupp. I like Puka Nacua. I like Matthew Stafford. I'm going to take him here.
My thoughts exactly. Yeah, Matthew Stafford was definitely the correct answer there, Trey. As you're going through them, that's what I was thinking. But I tell you what, since that cutoff is coming, I'm on the board here, man. And how about Keenan Allen in the 6th round going off? I like that.
Yeah, man, that looks like value to me.
It does look like value, my friend. DJ Moore going before Keenan Allen too in a lot of drafts I've been seeing, man. It's got to be he's an old guy, right? That's the problem.
Yeah, well, and DJ Moore just got the bag, and they basically said that they want him there. They want him a part of this team for a long time, and Keenan Allen, I think, on a 1-year deal. So it's like, they definitely want DJ Moore for the long term. Keenan Allen's a fill-in. I think people are thinking about that. However, I think that other teams will also think that, and Keenan Allen's going to get open a lot more than people expect, and he's going to show up and show out. I
want to ask you something real quick before I make my quarterback choice here. Now, we know Kirk Cousins got hurt at the around the middle end of last season, okay? They say he's going to be ready for week 1 starter. But is he getting a lot of practice? Is he getting a lot of reps with these guys? That's something that maybe we need to take into consideration. We saw Derek Carr, a very serviceable quarterback, go to a team where it didn't seem like they were ever on the same page, and that seemed to be the issue there. Is that something we should worry about when drafting Kirk Cousins?
I don't know. I think if anybody that you should be less worried about going into a new team and doing well, it's Kirk Cousins, because I feel like that's kind of what he's done. He's a manageable quarterback. He knows how to work with the guys that he gets. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, he's got some great guys to work with in the past. But I definitely think that Kirk Cousins, if anything, if he's not maybe one of the best quarterbacks of all time, right? But
Sure.
I think he understands the game of football more than a lot of quarterbacks, and he understands how the team's supposed to work together and how the field's supposed to look and how he can connect with these guys on a different level. And those are things that not all great quarterbacks have, that they can get that connection. And I think Kirk has that ability. So I like Kirk here. Like I said, I said earlier, he's coming off that Achilles tear. And then Aaron Rodgers also coming off the Achilles tear. Aaron Rodgers still on the board there as well. I know you're probably less on Aaron Rodgers, but he has had, another year with this team. He's not coming in brand new.
Right.
So even though he has been in recovery, he's still been talking to these guys, building connections and also working in practices here and there and being at practices and coaching these guys. So, he probably has a little bit more established connection with the team than Kirk Cousins would. So, I mean, it's either way for me.
I mean, and then
the safety pick with your boy Baker Mayfield.
I know I'm a Bucs fan, but I really think that Baker is going to be slinging the ball a lot this season, man. They kind of got his his feet dipped in the water, and they know he can throw it, and he's looking accurate, very accurate, and he's got another year with these guys. Baker, it's the problem is, do I want Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, or Baker Mayfield? I kind of got a little three-way thing going too with myself.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. I put Stafford and Baker fantasy points wise. Let me be very clear about that. Almost same level-ish in a sense. We're going to have Chris Godwin back in the slot. So it's not just like Mike Evans, the one guy you got to worry about. Chris Godwin, who's great, Mike Evans, who's great, and then go over to the other side with Matthew Stafford. Puka Nacua, who's great, and Cooper Kupp, who's also great. So like two really good receivers on both sides of the ball. It's going to make it tough.
Yeah, man, that was my thing when I was making that pick. As I hold Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua just a little bit higher than I hold Godwin and Evans. And Puka Nacua is hurt right now. He's supposed to be fine by the time the season starts. And sometimes these guys, they're hurt, but they milk it a little bit because they don't want to get too hurt in the preseason. However, I don't think Puka's that guy. I think it's a legit hurt if he's hurt, because he's the type of guy that always wants to be on the field regardless of what's going on. So it does worry me a little bit, but also they still got Cooper Kupp there, who is a triple crown. Yeah. I think people are sleeping on Cooper Kupp too. I just think that I would put Matthew Stafford a little bit higher than Baker because of the receivers, but no, I don't have no problem putting them close, man. I think Baker is definitely going to shock people again, I guess, if you could put it that way. I don't know how you can shock somebody twice, but people still are like Baker back before, last year. And I'm like, dude, he was very good last year.
Yeah, he was.
And people were sleeping on that again this year.
But here's the thing. So this is what's going to be the ultimate deciding factor with this. I've got Garrett Wilson. Okay. I've got Garrett Wilson. This is how I'm going to help make myself feel better by taking Aaron Rodgers and the Garrett Wilson. Give me that stack, baby.
Yeah, that's the kind of stack that could win you your league. Obviously, it's a risk, but it's also a stack that could just win every week. Like all your other players don't have a good week, but Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson stack goes off, and you could almost just win your whole week from that.
You're darn right, my friend. Darn right. Look at I got a couple wide receivers. I got a couple running backs. There's a lot of flex spots in this league, so really any of these guys are going to help you out. It is a super flex, but it's also It's full PPR. We usually do with our super flex. Let's see. I really like Aaron Jones. I feel like people are sleeping on Aaron Jones, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think I'm going to grab me some Aaron Jones, man. This guy has always been good. He's won me plenty of times in the pick'ems. I've won off of Aaron Jones. Give me Aaron Jones also. Hey, I got Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones. Got the Aarons. That may be the name of my team.
Aaron. I like it.
Now, your boy James. Oh, never mind. I was going to say your boy James Conner. Who took it? Tell me it wasn't the 11.
Team 11, man. They're sniping me, dude. They're sniping me all day.
Team 11 coming in with the snipe. Look at all those. Look, he even got Trey McBride on his team, bro.
Yeah, man. He's taking me out here. So I've got to work with what I got. But Zay Flowers goes. Christian Kirk, Tank Dell, Ramondre Baker finally goes. Kirk going after Baker, baby. Put some respect on his name. Baker Mayfield. David Montgomery, Zamir White, and then James Conner, who I definitely was looking at for my RB3 on this team. No problem doing that, but I'm back on the clock here, And I'm looking around, man. It's the 7th round, and George Kittle is still on the board. And to me, with even if Ayuk stays on the team, I feel like all the things that happen in the offseason might control his ability to perform, and that might make George Kittle do his thing. George Kittle had a 4-touchdown game last year. I think it's very possible he could repeat that again this year. And I'm just going to grab me some George Kittle here in the 7th round and secure my tight end spot.
There you go. I like it. You're still on the clock, buddy.
I am still on the clock, and I'm looking at the running backs. Najee Harris there. Jonathan Brooks there, but he is physically underperformed. Chuba Hubbard going to be the starting running back for Carolina at the beginning of the season. So that's a good later round look. I know he's done that before and it hadn't looked great, but then he's done that before and it looked delicious. Yeah. So, you got to take a risk there, but you're going to get value in the points where you grab him. Yep. Mostert down there still, which, if I didn't have A-Chain, I'd probably look in that direction this late in the round. I still think Mostert has a lot of value.
I do too.
Looking at the wide receivers, Jalen Reed there at the top, Odunze, Godwin, Hollywood Brown, who I'm really excited about this year. All three of these Chiefs receivers, right there around the same area, Brown, Worthy, and Rice. To me, I would have rather have Hollywood Brown. I've heard a lot of great things about Xavier Worthy and in the preseason, but I just know that Hollywood Brown, I've seen him do big things. And, you got Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback. There's always a chance that somebody can go crazy.
We're in the beginning of the 8th round, and I'm very surprised to still see a lot of good running backs on the board, buddy.
Without a doubt.
And I mean, lot of wide receiver heavy. Look at Team 8, bro. They went 2, 4, 5 wide receivers in a row. Managed to get Joe Mixon as their RB1, Kirk Cousins as their QB1. That is something to
Jamar Chase, AJ Brown, Drake London, Michael Pittman, Nico Collins. That might be amazing.
Dang, bro. Is it just the way this board fell, or is that a genius plan?
I'm going to take a risk here with DeAndre Hopkins being hurt and questionable. I've been seeing a lot of good things with Will Levis out of training camp. My dad actually went this week to the training camp, watched Burks put up some numbers, and I'm going to take a risk here on Calvin Ridley. I think that my dad was telling me that Will Levis was really showing out on the field down there, and that got me excited, and maybe that's a personal thing or whatever, but give me some Calvin Ridley because DeAndre's hurt. I would rather have DeAndre Hopkins if he's healthy, but I still think Calvin Ridley is a great wide receiver one.
Yeah. I like to hear that, man. I mean, we were just talking about Will Levis on our Sleepers episode. If you missed it, go back and watch it. We talked about Will Levis being a sleeper that, you might be able to get in like Superflex type drafts for value as your third quarterback, could wind up being your second quarterback if your second guy doesn't perform the way you want him to.
Without a doubt.
I'm liking that, man. A little behind the scenes going on over there. I like hearing that. How's old Burks doing, by the way?
He's doing good, man. He's training hard. Dad said he looked like he was in good shape. Obviously he's got competition. But he's definitely giving it his all. He's about to have a kid soon. Okay. And that definitely, I think, puts people's mind in a different mentality, that now I've got to provide, and I've got to do everything I can to keep my kid, healthy and happy. So maybe that's a little more drive that he has this year. But I'm excited to see where that takes him. And I do want to say, though, I have to look this guy up because I don't know who he is. But my dad said there's a lineman, whether defense or offense, he's not sure. Big white dude, about 7 foot tall, Dad said, about 450 pounds. And was getting interviewed all day. And Dad said, normally they don't interview the linemen like that. But this guy was huge. And I was like, I don't know who he is, but I need to look him up and check him out because Dad said he was scary.
That guy might make the team, buddy. But I'm on the clock, man. I've got about 3 running backs, 2 wide receivers. I've got my quarterback slot down. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 more picks left, my friend. I still got a wide receiver slot on my team. My tight end is still open, and I've got some bench spots. So let me take a look, man. Let's see. Running backs still on the board. Tony Pollard, Nick Chubb, Still there, buddy. Still there. Mr. Bench pressing 600 pounds after bending his leg that away is still doing things, man. I can't wait to see him on the field. When will he get on the field? We don't know. But Austin Eckler, a guy that's being slept on, still there. Man, I need some wide receivers, but man, those running backs are just looking so juicy over there, buddy.
They always do.
They always do. Xavier Worthy is there. Addison is there. Lad McConkey, looking like he's going to be the wide receiver 1 over there on the Chargers, man. That's what I'm hearing. Keon Coleman is there. I do have Josh Allen. Okay. A little double stack action, a little Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, a little Josh Allen, a little Keon Coleman action. I think I like it. Let's do it. Keon Coleman going. And then maybe I'll peek back over at those running back. You know what? Maybe I should look at tight end. Goddard's there. Hawkinson's there. Hawkinson will, from what I'm hearing, will not be playing within the first half of. He will get on the field within the first half of the season. Doesn't look like he's going to be a week 1 starter. Week 3, 4, possibly, what I'm hearing. So keep in mind that when you're thinking about getting old Hawkinson. Goddard there, Dalton Schultz, Freiermuth, Cole Kmet. I'm a punt tight end kind of guy, buddy. I'm a punt in the tight end kind of guy. It's tough.
While we're on the subject of Hawkinson, I just want to say I think that Hawkinson is a great value if your league has an IR spot, right? If you don't have an IR spot, I probably wouldn't waste the bench space. But if your league has an IR spot, I think you take a risk on Hawkinson, move him down to the IR, grab a guy off of waivers immediately after the draft. And hold on to that dude, because I think that is the IR grab of the draft this year. Last year was Alvin Kamara. This year, I think it's Hawkinson. And I think that if you got an IR spot, you can sit there happy and healthy, grab whatever tight end you want. If your tight end's performing when Hawkinson comes back, great. If not, you've got a great option to pivot.
Yeah, buddy. I like it. Okay. I'm going to go back over to running back, man. Nick Chubb is still there. Mostert, Zach Moss is still there. Looking like there's a lot of hype on Chase Brown, man, but Zach Moss has been proven. He's done some things. He has had some fantasy games to remember. You know what I mean? And he's going to be over there too. On the depth chart, I'm pretty sure Zach Moss is ahead of Chase Brown, so that's something to keep in mind. So Zach Moss might be somebody you can get way, way later for value. That's going to give you some good value right away, Trey.
Yeah, I think the Zach Moss, Chase Brown thing is definitely, it's confusing, and that's exciting for fantasy drafts, right? Because one guy's going to take a pick, the other guy's going to take a pick, and one of them is going to be the greatest decision maker ever, and the other one's going to be the worst decision maker ever. And no one knows who that's going to be until it comes down to game time. But if I had to pick one, I would lean Zach Moss. I've heard a lot of big guys talking about Chase Brown and saying that he's the pick. To me, I would go Zach Moss.
Okay, buddy, I hear you. So I'm actually going to take Raheem Mostert, I think. Go ahead and take him. The RB2 last season that everybody's sleeping on. Another guy made it to our sleeper list, Raheem Mostert. Going in the 9th round. What do you think, buddy? Value?
I can dig it. Yeah, man, that's definitely value. I mean, he's a touchdown machine last year. Obviously, I got A-Chain, but if A-Chain doesn't perform, Mostert's going to be the one reaping those benefits. So basically, you just countered my team in a sense that, one of those guys is going to go off and one of us is going to have a piece of it.
Yeah, you got the ketchup. I got the Mostert.
All right, after Mostert goes, Addison goes, Deontay Johnson goes, Jonathan Brooks, Tony Pollard, a lot of running backs coming off here, Jalen Moore, Nick Chubb, Javonte Williams, Dallas Goedert, and Lad McConkey. And I'm back on the board here looking at my team. I've got my quarterbacks. I've got my running backs. I've got 3 receivers, still looking for a flex, and then bench forward. Checking it out, looking for flex options here. Christian Watson there is somebody I might take a look at. Let's see. Running back wise, Zach Moss still there. Austin Eckler still there. Devin Singletary, Tiaje Spears. Here's the question, bro. Would you rather have Zach Moss or Austin Eckler? I think that is a tough decision to make. And that's crazy to say that right out loud. I can't believe I just said that out loud. But it is a crazy decision to make. Both of them battling for the lead role, it sounds like, on their team. However, I think Austin Eckler obviously has proven way more than Zach Moss has in his ability to play the game, and I have to take a risk on Austin Eckler here. I think is the right answer.
I think it is the right answer, Trey. Austin Eckler is a proven commodity. This is a guy that was going in the first round last season. Now, obviously, that didn't pan out for a lot of folks who drafted Austin Eckler, and they probably didn't make it to their fantasy championships. But would you have minded getting Austin Eckler with the way he performed last season in the 10th round? Would you have minded?
No,
exactly.
No, at that point, no.
I feel like with the Commanders, Brian Robinson, we have seen Brian Robinson do good, a lot better than we expected him to do. Okay, I'm thinking that they might try to use Austin Eckler in that Antonio Gibson type role. Okay, which we've seen him be great in. Exactly, half PPR, full PPR. Austin Eckler getting the ball passed to him. I think he's going to be a good grab, definitely in the 9th, 10th round. Value, baby, value.
Without a doubt. And my next pick here, a true flex, if you will. This team, he's shown before that he can do receiver and running back work on a new team with a great quarterback and a great situation. Debo Jr., as I like to call him. Give me some Curtis Samuel on my team. They're putting him in running back position, take a little bit of weight off James Cook. I'm excited to see what Curtis Samuel is going to do, man. And honestly, he's dropping in drafts since the last time we've done it, which to me is just more value in my mind. It makes me that much more willing to take him off the board.
To be honest, I really am a little disappointed I didn't take him instead of Keon Coleman. At least we know Curtis Samuel can do, good things, big things.
No doubt, no doubt.
But it's looking like my turn, buddy. In the 10th round, about 5 more picks left. We should be checking out quarterback. Maybe Geno's there, Derek Carr, Bryce Young, Mayhe, Daniel Jones, Gardner Minshew. Maybe somebody down here that I can maybe take a risk on being my 3rd string quarterback, my just in case Aaron Rodgers' leg gives out. Geno might be a good one of those. Derek Carr might be one of those. But I think those guys will remain there for a little while. I really need to get some wide receiver on my team. Look, Romeo Doubs is what I'm hearing. Here we go again with the Romeo Doubs. I know I'm hearing that he is looking like the most got it figured out on the Packers with Jordan Love having the most chemistry. That is the things that I'm hearing coming out of camp. Does it scare me? Hell yes, it scares me. It's Romeo Doubs. Each year we say this is his year, and he has a couple games, good games.
Yeah, this is his games.
Yeah,
week 4, week 17.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're 100% right. So it scares me, obviously. Cortland Sutton there, but man, that whole quarterback situation in Denver. Sean Payton says Jarrett Stidham is the starter in week 1. Bo Nix will be the starter in week 2. That's what's going on in Denver. Just saying, bro.
Yeah.
Just saying. That scares me. Cortland Sutton, a guy that I just really haven't even looked at in the past couple of years.
But hey, Jerry Jeudy gets traded. That opens up some room for Cortland Sutton to guarantee be the wide receiver 1. I mean, that's my only thoughts is, he's going to be the main target of getting the ball. Now, who's throwing it to him? That's the biggest problem. Yep. Is Denver going to score a touchdown all year? Who knows?
Yeah, right.
It's scary.
You know what, man? I have punted tight end for long enough. Looking at tight ends, Freiermuth is still there. Cole Kmet is still there. One of those, Tyler Conklin's down there somewhere. I know that. One of those 3 guys is when it comes to punting tight end is one that I will actually, I think, consider rather than just grabbing just from the list down after Conklin. It's just nothing you want to see, man. So I better grab one of these guys and just go ahead and get it over with. Should I let the moose loose or what?
Yeah, man. I was just about to say, Pat Freiermuth, I'm willing to put money down today. Week 1, he gets a touchdown. Russell Wilson is that guy who in the early stages of a team, we saw it last year with Denver. He loves targeting the tight end if he hasn't figured out the offense to a point that he likes yet. He's scared to air it out. He's going tight end. Pat Freiermuth is that guy. He loves end zone targets. I know. Remember there was one year when Big Ben was still there. That Pat Fryermuth's first or second year, either way. I think he got a touchdown every week.
Yeah.
It was just not a whole lot of yards, not a whole lot of much, but you could guarantee 7 points out of the dude.
Yeah.
And so it was consistent. And when you're punting tight end, I think it's a great move.
Yeah. Another guy I like looking at is Mike Williams for the Jets. ACL in week 3 last year. They asked him if he's going to be ready for week 1. He says, I guess we're going to see.
Yeah. Only thing that scares me with that is having too many pieces of the Jets.
Yeah.
And that was the same thing with thinking Conklin as a punt tight end spot here. You already got, which don't get me wrong. I've had teams that had a quarterback, a wide receiver, and a tight end from the same team, and it's worked out.
It has.
But
not every week.
But not every week. Definitely not every week.
Oh man, just there's not a lot of meat on the bone in wide receiver. Lockett, Dobbs, Sutton. I don't want to get Shakir because I've already got a lot of bills going on over there. I don't know, buddy. I don't know.
Man,
all right.
To be honest with you, I'm kind of giving you the treasure here. But to me, out of the wide receiver guys that are out there, I'm going all the way down and I'm grabbing Joshua Palmer.
Oh, you think so?
I just think that he's proven that he can be the wide receiver 1. I know there's talk about McConkley and all these things, but I know Joshua Palmer can do it. And in the 11th round, to me, a potential wide receiver 1 that's proven that he can be that guy. I think it's good value.
I like it. I appreciate it. I know I was just talking crap about Courtland Sutton, but I'm just going to grab Courtland Sutton. It's bench spot anyway. If he is the wide receiver 1 on Denver, can get me 15 points, maybe, hopefully, I'll be happy. You know, I'm going to go ahead and grab Sutton.
I can dig it. I'm back on the clock here. After Sutton goes, 5 running backs go: Singletary, Spears, Corum, Robinson, Edwards, Lockett, Shakir, then Zeke, Trey Benson, and Chase Brown.
Oof.
Zach Moss going the 10-2, and Chase Brown going 11-11. The same team, grabbing both of them. Obviously, it's computer, but he's that guy. He heard me about picking one and hoping to make the best decision ever, and he was like, guaranteed I'm going to get the best decision.
That's one way to do it, I guess.
All right, let's see here. I'm looking for depth at this point. I'm looking for guys to take risks on.
That's exactly.
Thank you so much for leaving Joshua Palmer out there. I'm going to go ahead and grab him up real quick.
He's all yours.
I got no problem doing that. And then looking around here, a guy I cannot believe is still out there, to be honest with you. And I've talked a lot of trash on this dude, but there's a lot of great hype coming out of training camp. The team is loving him. They're excited about what he's going to do. His quarterback is hurt. It's supposed to be split, but it looks like it's going to be a little more this way than that way. And that's J.K. Dobbins, baby. Give me some J.K. Dobbins, okay, in the 12th round. Gus Edwards off the board 2 rounds ago, I think. I'll take J.K. Dobbins. It sounds to me like everything says that J.K. Dobbins is going to be that lead dude coming out of training camp. Obviously, injury is a big worry, but he's a bench spot in the 12th round. So if he is injured, I'll drop him and waiver wire add somebody.
Yeah, for sure. JK. Oh, man, I'm back on the board here. And again, this is late round dart throws is what you're basically looking here. You're looking for something juicy to pop out at you. Rashid Shaheed is still there, hearing good things. Oh goodness, it's tough.
Have you seen Xavier Leggett in the interview?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh, dude. I've got to show you some TikToks of this dude. I almost want to draft him just because of his accent. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he is like country, Louisiana, Southern. I don't know. He's from like South Carolina. So it's not even Louisiana accent, but it sounds almost Cajun. And even Bryce Young, that's one thing that worries me is the communication there. Bryce Young is like, I have to really pay attention to hear what this dude is saying. He's like, that doesn't mean I can't understand him, but he's like, I can't be looking off in the distance and know what he's saying. I got to look at his mouth and make it out.
Oh gosh. Oh man. Let's see here. Ty Chandler's there. Rico Dotto, who I'm hearing is doing really well behind Zeke. He could lead the team in rushing. Some of the news that's been coming out. He's on track for a roster spot. I don't know. I'm not a big getting guys on the Cowboys. Zeke is there, but is Zeke going to do anything? I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Last I heard about Zeke from the offseason so far is that he's just trying not to get hurt. And that was a quote. He's like, man, I'm just out here trying not to get hurt. And that scares me a little bit, because he is older, and he's like, I'm just playing football the best I can and trying to avoid an injury. And so to me, that's not he's not really focused on being the best. He's just focused on being on the team. And that scares me a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it scares me too, buddy. I'm going to go ahead and take Geno Smith as my third quarterback option. We've seen his quarterback play kind of go down in recent years. I'm going to say new coach. Maybe we get a little different game plan, different revitalized Geno come out there and do things. It could happen. It could definitely happen.
It could. I don't think it will,
but it
could.
That's why he's the third quarterback.
There you go.
Just in case Aaron Rodgers' legs give out
on the third play.
Yeah. Oh, that'll suck. This team will be gone for if that's the call, man. Again, we got 2 picks left. Okay, looking for value. Why not get Gabe Davis? Why not? Okay, he's on Jacksonville now. It is the 13th round. You don't know what's going to happen. They don't have a lot going on. They got rid of Calvin Ridley. Okay, who else they got over there? I know, right?
Yeah. Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk, definitely. But Christian Kirk is somebody I've always wanted to be the guy, and I mean, it looks like he might be the guy, right?
They got a new rookie over there too. I can't think of his name. That I've been hearing some good things about, but I do think Gabe Dave has definitely the option to fill that Christian Kirk role of the past.
Right, and he could be getting slept on. Who knows? He could come out and just be that they could just come out and be that Gabe Davis that we've been wanting to see since that Bills-Chiefs playoff game.
Yeah, man. And also, I think he's probably going to be left undrafted in a couple leagues. And I think he's going to be a week 1 or 2 waiver wire target for sure. Mm-hmm. Come back and fact check us on that. But week 2, I promise you, I'm believing Gabe Dave will be out there.
Keep that eye out, baby. Keep that eye out. That's your last 2 picks, Trey.
I know, man. My last 2 picks here, after Gabe Davis goes, Rashid Shaheed, Chuba Hubbard, Jahan Dodson, Jalen Wright, Cade Otton, Xavier Leggett, Antonio Gibson, Brandon Cooks, Josh Downs, and Ty Chandler. I got 2 picks left, and I got to make them dart throws, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much juice on this bone down here, buddy.
I know that's right. I already know one of those picks, though, has got to be my QB3 on my team. Give me a backup QB, the man that is always there when I need him at my QB3. Give me Russell Wilson here, real simple. Oh, no, baby. It's Russell Wilson all day. I'm telling you, y'all are sleeping on Russell Wilson. He's going to be on the waiver wire in your leagues, even in your Superflex leagues. If I didn't take him here, he probably would be on the waiver wire in this league. Yeah. And I want him on my bench, man, because I really think he's going to show out.
I really thought you were going to be driving to Derek Carr on that one.
No, man, I'd rather have Russell Wilson all day over Derek Carr. Derek Carr, a few years previous, I would go Derek Carr. I would lean Derek Carr. Russell Wilson on Denver, I'm going Derek Carr. But Russell Wilson on the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, I think is being slept on.
Russell Wilson had to be down there, bro, like way down there, right? Because I scrolled down. I didn't even see him down there.
Yeah, he was down there below Gardner Minshew, right above Justin Fields. And Justin Fields isn't starting, so...
So he's like the last QB that anybody wants.
I mean,
over all the rookies, over Joe Flacco.
Sam Darnold is down there past Justin Fields, and Sam Darnold sounds like he might be the starter.
Yeah.
And people would rather have Justin Fields on their bench.
Hey, Sam Darnold came out. He showed out a little bit when he was for the Niners. He actually looked really good. I mean, it's hard not to look good with that team, but I liked what I saw with him. He looks like he can follow directions, I
just saw something here, and I have to bring this up because of Malik Neighbors and the exciting things I've been hearing about him, right? But Daniel Jones is throwing him the ball, so what are people going to do about that? I'm trying to think who the backup is behind Daniel Jones and if they have an ability to take a risk here.
I am not sure, actually, for the Giants.
Oh, it's Drew Lock.
Drew Lock. He just got hurt.
That's devastating to me. I was thinking, I thought I saw Flacco, but he's on the Colts.
Yeah.
So that's sad. But I just think I really wish that Flacco was the backup because I think he could do what he did again. Come in, Daniel Jones get hurt, Flacco comes in, lead him to a playoff. That's what he does. But sadly, they are not on the same team.
Flacco's backing up Anthony Richardson now, I believe.
Yeah, which is I mean, that team, bro, the Colts scare me with that. That's a solid quarterback room. I love me some Joe Flacco, bro.
It sounds like they got like a good running quarterback, tough guy, and then they got a guy who can come and sling the ball around
and just turn the whole offense in a different aspect,
exactly.
on a dime.
I'm thinking, do you think that in the future, like it could become like there is actually they use 2 quarterbacks all the time because they're kind of dipping their toes in that water now?
There's definitely a possibility that they're slowly changing to using more and more guys on the team than they ever have, and that sucks for fantasy. Obviously, you want that bell cow guy, that's going to take off all that work, but
right.
Now they're kind of adding these guys in, a guy like Taysom Hill, type situation, which from what I hear, he's going to be used even more like a tight end, but also as a running back. And so that's, he's almost going to be like a fullback in your tight end position, who is another good guy you could punt on, another year, another Taysom Hill waiver wire watch guaranteed coming up. We'll get there when we get there, but
yeah, we will.
I've got my last pick here. I know I'm just ranting and raving here, but I'm on my last pick. I'm looking for a guy to just take a dart throw on.
It's hard.
It is hard. But I'm going to go ahead and grab me some Adam Thielen with my last pick, just in case he has the kind of start that he did last year. Yeah. Maybe it's worth a few couple games to put him out there, and then I can just find somebody else to replace him.
I like it, buddy. I like it. On my last pick, my last dart throw, it's going to have to be Pop Douglas, Demario Douglas, still out there, taking him as my dart throw on the Patriots. I mean, Pop Douglas, why not?
Why not?
A guy that a lot of folks, I believe, are sleeping on as well. That's the end of the draft, baby. That's the end of it. That was fun, buddy. That was fun.
It was, man. That was exciting.
Let's take a look at our teams, buddy. How you feeling about your team here?
Man, I'm excited about my team. I think my team has a really high ceiling. My team scares me a little bit. Just with some newer guys or some guys that have had some ups and downs. But my team definitely has the potential to win the league. It also has the potential to lose the league. So, but you got to take a lot of risks to get a high reward. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, I like it. Take a look at your team, man. You started off hot. Amon-Ra, Breece Hall, Jared Goff in the 3rd round in Superflex, Devin A-Chain, Malik Neighbors, Matthew Stafford, George Kittle, Calvin Ridley, Austin Eckler, Curtis Samuel, Joshua Palmer, J.K. Dobbins, Russell Wilson, Adam Thielen. I see what you mean. Okay, like these could all be amazing picks, or this could go south pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I mean, this team could blow other teams out of the water, and it could also lose by 10 to 15 points every week.
It looks like to me one of those teams there. You see this team every year in fantasy football. They have like 2 really, really, really good players, and the rest is blah. This team could be that way, depending on how things pan out. You could have a few really good players, and then the rest just don't do enough to win games for you. I could definitely see that happening. But there are some chances taken, and I like it. I like the risks. I'm going to give this team a B-, buddy.
I can dig it.
All right, go over to my team. Tell me what you think, buddy.
All right, you got Josh Allen off rip, Garrett Wilson, Kyron Williams, Kenneth Walker. I like the Kyron-Kenneth Walker running back duo there, and Aaron Jones as a flex, or maybe even move him up if he does what I expect him to do in Minnesota, and that is not necessarily be a bell cow, but majority of a bell cow, because that's kind of how Minnesota likes to run their offense.
It is.
Stephon Diggs as your wide receiver too. I think that's one of those risky picks that could really pay off. You know what I mean? He could have wide receiver 1 level Stephon Diggs previous history level numbers, and you got him at a value. So it's definitely worth taking a risk there. Keon Coleman as your wide receiver 3, I think, is a great position. Mostert down there in the 9th round, I think it's just great value. I still think he's being slept on. Even if A-Chain does go off, I think Mostert is still going to be a valuable running back to have on your team.
Absolutely.
Pop Douglas and Gabe Dave down there. Obviously, my biggest thing is this team lives and dies on Aaron Rodgers in a sense. That if Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers and does his thing, and him and Garrett Wilson go off, it's going to be amazing. But Garrett Wilson without Aaron Rodgers finishes the wide receiver 28. So that's definitely scary, being that's your pick. But you got to take risks to get reward, like I said. So I'm going to go with you here, and I'm going to give this team a B- as well, because I think it has some solid players, and I think it has some risky players that could really pay off or kill you.
The AA Rons, name of this team, baby.
Aaron's, I like it.
Aaron's. Beautiful stuff, man. Superflex, my favorite way to play fantasy football. I think possibly the future of fantasy football. There's a guy in a league I was in last year. He had never played Superflex before, man, and he's pumped. He loved it. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. You know, these people, they get stuck in their head like, this is the way to play fantasy football. I've played it this way for years. There's not 2 quarterbacks. You get 1 quarterback, you know? I mean, and you just got to try different things, man, and have a lot of fun doing it. I've been in so many strange leagues, a 32-man league. I've just been in so many things because I like to try new things. Now, the 32-man wasn't for me. I tried it. It was interesting, but that was not my type of league, you know? But would have never known that had I not tried it, Trey.
Exactly. And that's what we're here to do, is try things out, have a good time, and have fun, you know? Because you're in a Superflex league. If you have more fun in a Superflex, do that. If you have more fun in a standard league, do that. Mm-hmm. You know, it's all up to you. It's obviously, in the end of the day, it's a game, and it's a game that we enjoy doing, but do it however you want. You know, I've seen a league where it was 2 QB and 4 flex. And that was a league, you know what I mean? And like 2 bench spots. And so there's a lot of waiver wire priorities, a lot of trading going on, and you know, value in tight end, wide receiver, running back. It don't really matter because you could flex 4 running backs if you wanted to.
That's right.
You know, and a lot of people think that's insane and that's not fantasy football. And yes, it is. You know what I mean?
Sure is.
It sure is. It's different. It's crazy. And it's probably, you know, a lot of different thought process, but that's kind of the point. You know, you want to change your mind and how you think about things. That's the whole point of fantasy is getting new looks and new envisions and just having a good time, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And on that note, Trey, I'll just go ahead and do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We shall see thee on the next one.
Peace.
Balls to steal this guy. He's got big balls.